Welcome to the Idaho Fishing Report. Whether you are planning just a couple of hours or a full weekend of fishing, this is your one-stop place for all the information you need to plan your trip. It's all right here, from weather forecasts and reservoir levels to the latest stocking reports and expert advice. And now, the host of Idaho Fishing Report, Jeff Cullers.
Well, hello, anglers. Indeed, I am Jeff Cullers, and this is the Idaho Fishing Report. Glad you could be along with us this week. Got a great show for you. Jordan Rodriguez will be joining us, talking about setting the hook. I've got your reservoir level, your boat ramp information, and it's a good one this week. Gonna be a warm one, so make sure you stay tuned and check out what that forecast is gonna look like for this pre-4th of July weekend. So sit back and relax. This is the Idaho Fishing Report. All right, let's start it off in the Magic Valley as we do each and every week. Sunset will be around 9:19 p.m. as we are in the longest daylight stretch of the year. Temperatures Friday and Saturday going to be in the mid to upper 80s. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday going to be in the mid to upper 90s. It is going to be hot. Temperatures come back down just a little bit into upper 80s Wednesday and Thursday. There's going to be some pretty windy conditions on Friday and Saturday, 20 mile an hour on Friday, 14 on Saturday, 12 on Sunday. Monday looks pretty good, 7 mile an hour winds, and then it picks back up again. There are no chances of rain at all this weekend over the Magic Valley. Your reservoir level and boat ramp information. Lake Walcott is sitting at 94% full, no change there. 4244 is the elevation. The boat ramp is open. Littlewood is sitting at 95% full with an elevation of 5235, and the Littlewood boat ramp is open. There are no major stocking or fishing tournaments to report for the Magic Valley. All right, it is time for that Tight Lines 208 hot tip of the week, and joining us as he does each and every week, journalist, owner, and creator of Tight Lines 208, Jordan Rodriguez. Jordan, how are you doing?
Doing great, Jeff. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. We're recording this on the longest daylight day of the year, and super excited about that. I definitely love the long days in the Idaho summer.
Absolutely. More time for fishing.
Amen to that. All right, Jordan, what is that Tight Lines 208 hot tip of the week?
Well, this week I want to talk about kind of a basic fishing skill, but a really important one, and that's setting the hook. And, you know, the reason I want to talk about this is I do see a lot of folks kind of using improper technique and then wondering, well, gosh, why can't I get a hook set in these fish? And
Sure.
So just, you know, talk through it a little bit, because really when you get a bite from a fish, you've done the hard part. You've got some fish located and you've got a presentation that they're willing to eat. And so, you know, the closing the deal is getting that hook set and getting the fish in. So when it comes to setting the hook, the key is to do it on a tight line, right? That's the name of the game, tight lines. So, and what we mean by that is if there's not tension between you and the fish when you swing, then all your swing will do is remove the tension from the line. I've demonstrated this in class before. Like, think about if you have your buddy standing 10 feet away and you've got, you know, a rope, and the rope has a bunch of loops in it, right? And you yank on the rope and you're both holding it, nothing happens.
Right.
And whereas opposed if you have it straight between you with tension on it and you pull, he's going to come towards you because that's where that tension comes from. So, you know, a lot of times if you're fishing with, say, bait, and it's sitting there for a while, either on the bottom or on a bobber, and then you start to get a bite, you really need to get that rod in your hands and take a couple of cranks until you feel the weight of that fish and then set the hook. And I think the natural inclination a lot of times is to, oh my gosh, I'm getting a bite, just grab it and yank hard right away. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that's a good way to not close the deal and to not get a hook set in that fish. And then the other thing, and we can't really cover all of the methods because there's so many different types, but depending on what kind of fishing you're doing, that also dictates like the timing and the technique of how you're setting the hook. Whether it's with its flies, fly fishing, a fish figures out pretty quick that that's feathers and metal, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing, it doesn't really feel like a fish or, have any sort of scent or taste to it. So you really have to set the hook pretty quickly when a fish strikes on a fly. Other things like topwater frogs and kind of those hollow bodied lures with bass might be one of the more difficult things to set the hook on. You get these explosive topwater strikes where it's just like a cannonball got dropped out of a helicopter, right? Just, well, you have to wait with the topwater frogs because that fish has to swim downward with it and really have it in the mouth. It's like a count to 3 seconds at least, or else 9 times out of 10 you pull too fast and it just comes flying out. Other things like plastics with bass, really a fine line there because they will eat plastics like all the way down. They're usually scented and they
Mm-hmm.
kind of have a lifelike feel to them. So I fish with plastics so often that I can almost visualize it in my mind. I want to set the hook when the fish has the bait and has started to swim away from me. So a lot of times you're fishing cover, the fish comes out of the cover, grabs it, and then is going to turn to go back into the cover. And that's the best moment to really set the hook and drive that hook through and get like the right angle on it and make sure that they have the hook in their mouth. So, and you can go down the list for all these things. And it just takes some research and mostly some practice to be like, okay, what's the best way for this particular method that I'm using. Another thing I'll say is just to set the hook once. I see a lot of, especially beginners, they want to continue setting the hook like all the way back to shore or all the way back to the boat.
Sure.
And it's really a job that's done once. And once the hook is set, then you're just fighting the fish and allowing your tackle to kind of do its job, using the drag on big fish. But if you continue to yank, you're likely to yank it out of the fish's mouth or create a larger hole in the
Yep.
mouth.
Do damage.
That then allows the fish to slip off the hook. So, and a lot of things like with trolling or retrieve lures, like crankbaits and spinner baits and stuff, there's really no hook set involved with most of that. Is where the
Right.
fish hits it, and because the lure is already in motion, those two things combined, the movement of the lure, the movement of the fish, it's already there. And so then you're just fighting and reeling, and you don't really want to set the hook once you hook up on like a trolling or a retrieve lure.
So I know there's a lot to cover, but one of the more popular fish that people catch in Idaho is rainbow trout. Rainbow are notorious for having soft jaws. Is there any variation when you're targeting rainbow trout, that you set that hook a little gentler, or even not at all?
Again, it depends on what you're fishing. But I think the biggest thing is trusting your initial hook set, or using proper technique on your hook set so that you have confidence in those hooks holding, and then you're just kind of hanging on, and again allowing your drag to do the work, allowing your tackle to perform its function, and working that fish back to the boat. And that's where things with fish like trout, kokanee, some of these things that have softer mouth tissues, that's where like a landing net really comes in handy, rather than trying
Sure.
to lift the fish by the hooks into the boat. Scooping with the net removes that pressure and kind of removes that risk factor of losing a fish right at the boat. And the bigger the fish, the easier it is to lose on things like that. They can even break the line, at times. If a fish is too big and you're trying to basically deadlift it into the boat, right?
Sure. Yeah. It's funny. I was kind of chuckling to myself when you talked about the topic. I took a friend fishing. Hadn't done he's experimented with some fly fishing before, and he's pretty decent at that, but he'd never gone spin casting. And so we went out to Eagle Island, and I wanted to kind of show him some techniques, and had a little spinner bait on there, and he was bringing it in, and something hit it, and I said, "All right, set the hook," and he set it so hard. He caught like this 2-inch bluegill is what he hooked, and he pulled the poor bluegill all the way out of the water, and came back and smacked him in the face. He set the hook so hard. So I think definitely you have to teach people how to set the hook. It's really
right.
important.
There's that great Office Space meme where the guy gets like pulled up into the ceiling, and that one gets thrown around a lot, especially during ice fishing season, right? Because it's like, they hit their head on the ceiling. You set the hook so hard.
Yeah, sure.
But it is important to do it right, and the more practice you get with it, and with it, especially with your specific techniques. Like for me personally, there are times when I will set the hook twice, even though I just got done with the big spiel saying, hey, just do it once, just do it once. Well, I'm experienced enough, like especially with bass, when they do the thing that I described, where they're supposed to grab the plastic and go back toward the cover, right? Well, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they grab it and they keep swimming toward you. And in that case, it makes it really difficult to get that tension necessary for a good hook set. So if I feel that, if I feel that that's what's going on, I will reel down again and set the hook a second time. And you'll see guys do that, even on the tour, and that if they're fishing plastics and jigs and things, if the fish swims towards you and eliminates that slack, then it can be good to sometimes do a double hook set. But those things take practice and experience. But big thing is set on a tight line, only set once, and then just trust your gear and allow your gear to do its job. You should wind up hooking and landing a lot more of the fish that bite.
All right. Well, speaking of hooking fish, I saw an email come through tonight that catfish are jumping.
They are. Yes, they are. And the Mormon crickets are out. So I think they might literally be jumping in some places. But yeah, that's our next fishing class we have coming up with Tight Lines 208. It's set for July 20th. So it's about a month away, and we talk all things catfish. We have multiple species of catfish in Idaho. We'll cover them all, baits, tactics, locations, all the strategies that you need to get out and experience these fish. I find that a lot of folks aren't even fully aware that, we have really a high quality catfish population here in the Snake River and its connected reservoirs and so forth. So a lot of big fish, strong fighters, and good for the frying pan. And so this class will cover all those things, and that is set for July 20th.
Outstanding. And you can go to tightlines208.com, or you can go to gemstatefishing.com and find the link there to Jordan's page. Jordan, we thank you again for coming in each and every week and giving us these hot tips. And we will talk to you later, sir.
You got it. Thanks, brother.
Thank you. All right. Well, big thanks to Jordan there. And exciting news we have. We have an opportunity now. If you want to help support the show, you can do that through Patreon. We have a link on our website. Just go to gemstatefishing.com, click on the Patreon site. Here's some good news though, listeners. If you sign up to be a Patreon, there's a lot of advantages that you get, like you will get the podcast before anybody else does. But also additionally, we're going to give you a discount to any of Jordan Rodriguez's Tightline 208 classes. Plus, we're going to give away a seat in every class that he has in the coming year, simply because you're a Patreon listener. So if you'd like to support the show, you can do it for as little as $5 a month. And you can do that to help us continue to grow, and you get some great discounts, and you also get some great advantages. So go to gemstatefishing.com, click on the Patreon page, and become an Idaho Fishing Report patron. All right, let's hit that Treasure Valley. Sunset will be around 9:26 p.m. Temperatures Friday and Saturday will be in the mid to upper 80s. It's going to get hot for the next 3 days. 97, 104, and 101 on Tuesday, the 28th. So be very mindful of that. In the lower 90s on Wednesday and Thursday of that week. Pretty strong winds on Friday, 20-mile-an-hour winds over in the Mountain Home area. And then it dissipates down into anywhere from 7 to 15 mile an hour for the rest of the week. Pretty calm. Over in Boise, sunset will be around 9:30. Pretty much the same thing. You're going to see those mid to upper 80s on Friday and Saturday, upper 90s on Sunday, and then 102 on Monday the 27th. And then those temperatures start to drop back down for Tuesday through Thursday. 96 on Tuesday, and then upper 80s on Wednesday and Thursday. Again, no chance of rain here at all over the weekend. Gusty winds, 15 mile an hour on Friday, but then it calms down dramatically for Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be a beautiful day to be out on the water, 7 to 6 mile an hour. So it's going to be really, really calm. So highly recommend you get out there and do that. Your reservoir level and boat ramp information for the Treasure Valley. Anderson Ranch is at 92% full with an elevation of 4189. All boat ramps are open. Arrow Rock is sitting at 94% full with an elevation of 3211. High and low ramps are open. Lucky Peak is sitting at 98% full with an elevation of 3053. All those ramps are open. It's going to be busy on Lucky Peak this weekend, I can promise you. Lake Lowell, 71% full with an elevation of 2525. All ramps are open. There are no major stocking reports in the Treasure Valley. There's one fishing tournament to report. On June 25th, the Mountain Home Hog Hunters will be at the Anderson Ranch Reservoir, and they'll be using the Curlow Creek boat ramp. And that is your report for the Treasure Valley. Hey, guess what, listeners? We have a new website. That's right, it's gemstatefishing.com. Go there to check out all the links because you can get all the information we provide here. You can also contact us through the site. All right, time to hit up that double nickel to the Cascade area. Sunset will be around 9:33 p.m. Friday and Saturday, low to upper 70s for your temperature. Sunday will be 85, 91 on Monday, and then it drops back down as we go throughout the rest of the week. Mid 80s on Tuesday, upper 70s Wednesday and Thursday. Going to be sunny all weekend long. There's some single-digit chances of rain, as there always is in the Cascade area. Nothing over 4%, though, any point this weekend. A little windy on Friday, 11 mile an hour, but the rest of the weekend, pretty calm, 6 to 7 mile an hour winds. And then after that, for the first part of the week, 8 to 11 mile an hour winds. Your reservoir level and boat ramp information for the Cascade area. Cascade is currently sitting at 97% full with an elevation of 4827. All ramps are open. Deadwood is sitting at 99% full with an elevation of 5334. The Cozy Cove boat ramp is open. Man Creek is at 95% full with an elevation of 2887. Both south and north ramps are open. Stocking in the Cascade area, this is where you're going to find some fresh fish. Warm Lake is at 12,000 fish will be stocked at some point this week. Hazard Lake is 2,500 and Horseshoe Bend Mill Pond is 1,000 fish. There's one fishing tournament to report. June 25th, the Idaho Bassmasters will be on Lake Cascade using the Sugarloaf boat ramp. And that is your report for the Cascade area. Hey, do you want to be part of the show? Email us with questions or your fishing report from your last trip. You can email us at gemstatefishing208@gmail.com. Want to send me pictures of your fish? Send it to myfish@gemstatefishing.com. And if you have questions about the show or want something answered, email us at questions@gemstatefishing.com. Let's head over to that Oregon-Idaho border and your Snake River Reservoir report. Sunset will be around 9:38 Mountain Standard Time. Friday, you're going to see a high of 80. Saturday, high of 88. Sunday, high of 96, and we're going to reach our pinnacle on Monday at 102 degrees over in that area. It's going to drop down just a little bit on Tuesday, 93 for your high, and then upper 80s Wednesday and Thursday. Sunny, 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 all for the next 7 days. 12 mile an hour winds on Friday, just like everywhere else. We're going to see a little bit windier, but then it dies down greatly on Saturday and Sunday. Single digits until Tuesday. And then that's not even much. It's only 10 degrees. So very little chance of rain through most of the week. Some single digits here and there, and that's about it. Brownlee is still sitting at 2076. No change there. All ramps are open. There are no stocking or fishing tournaments to report for the Snake River Reservoir area. You can find us on Facebook groups, or you can follow us on Twitter at Idaho_report. It's time for your moon phase report. The new moon will be on June 28th. So that's next Tuesday. The first quarter is July 6th. Apogee will be on June 29th. We are entering into the new moon, the first part of the week. with several peak times in the good range. None in the excellent, unfortunately, this weekend, but there are some in the good range over the weekend. Those peak times will be between 11 a.m. and noon, and starting on Friday, and it kind of starts to eat back to about 2 o'clock on Monday. And then again, same time, 11 p.m. to midnight, kind of getting a little bit later as you go through the weekend. You'll see another peak around 5 to 6 p.m. Now, the first part of next week, you'll see a little bit stronger peaks as we hit the new moon on Tuesday. Peak times between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. And then again in the afternoon with another late peak between 8 and 9 p.m. I will tell you, as we head into the next weekend, which is July 4th weekend, unfortunately, those peak times really drop off. I would say this weekend is probably a good weekend to go out. We'll talk more about that in my grade. Well, another great show here, and it is time for my grade. I will tell you, this is probably going to be the best weekend that we've had all year, just because of the conditions that we have, and it's pre-4th of July weekend, so most everybody's gearing up for next weekend to go out. So not a whole lot of people are thinking about going out this weekend. The weather's going to be great. It's going to be hot. It's going to be sunny, so wear lots of sunblock. I would give this weekend, that's right, listener, an A. This weekend, definitely, it's going to be a great weekend to get out. I highly recommend to get out there, whether it's Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. If you're out on Friday, just be careful. It's going to be windy in most areas. That's going to die down over the weekend. Have a great weekend. Get out on that water and enjoy that A grade. Well, that is going to put the wraps on another edition of the Idaho Fishing Report. It has been a great report. It's been fun giving this one. You know, when it's sunny skies all weekend long, no wind, it's going to be warm. And so you're not have to worry about being cold. Get out there, do some fishing. If it gets too hot, jump in the water and cool off. It's a great weekend to go out. Next weekend's July 4th. You know in Idaho that it's going to be packed. Just going to be packed. So find yourself a little spot. Go find yourself a new fishing hole. You never know what you might find. There's a lot of places that you can find out there. I highly recommend it. For the Idaho Fishing Report, I'm Jeff Cullers, and I'll see you on the water. We would like to thank you for listening to the Idaho Fishing Report, and would like to remind you to visit our website, gemstatefishing.com, or you can find us on Facebook or YouTube. I'd like to thank our sponsors, our guests, and experts, as well as you, our listener, for making this show possible. This has been an Old Man Studios production. Join us next week for another episode of the Southern Idaho Fishing Report.